Hey guys, it's Sim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Wednesday, and that means tonight was AEW Dynamite. Now, as far as tonight's AEW Dynamite goes, it was the go-home show for this coming Saturday night's Full Gear event from the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Now, I'm just going to say, I don't think they've done that great of a job hyping up this show, hyping up this pay-per-view. It's just okay. This did not feel like a good go-home show. I was bored in the middle of this show, just like I have been in recent weeks. And as far as the pay-per-view goes, it's like, I just don't really care. We have, let me pull up the card really fast. We will be doing predictions at the end after we get into everything that happened tonight at Dynamite. Then we will give our predictions.
I was actually just about to ask about that.
Yeah, so right now, and this is before they have filmed Rampage, so we don't know if they're going to add anything else on Rampage. You know, Tony's probably going to maybe add a pre-show match on his media call tomorrow, but we have with the one pre-show match, and I do want to apologize if you hear a beeping. All of a sudden, as soon as Luke and I were on here getting ready to go live, my smoke detector started beeping, so I guess I need a battery in that, but yeah. So I do apologize if you guys hear that in the background. We have 8 main card matches and 1 pre-show match. Which, if this is a Tony Khan show, they're probably adding at least 2 more matches. Probably to that pre-show, I would say. So, we'll get into all of this and more at the end of this podcast. But as far as, like I said, as far as tonight's Dynamite does go, and again, I do want to apologize for the show starting late. As Robert Williams asked, where are you at 20 minutes or 20 late? Well, my daughter's sick. She was throwing up. Kids come first, so I was taking care of that. How you doing? Yes, he says, not that serious. Well, if it's not that serious, bub, then why you throwing it out in the chat and whatnot? Just saying. If it's not that serious, then what does it matter? Why are you asking? Anyways, so yeah, Dynamite. I thought it was an okay show. I thought it was actually, as a show, I thought it was good. Got bored a little bit. Luke, question. Was it just my feed, my TV, computer, how I'm watching it? Or was this crowd dead for most of the stuff tonight?
This crowd was dead.
Okay, because like Adam Cole came out and went to do the boom, and I heard like 5 people boom.
Probably just low attendance as well.
Let's go to WrestleTix. Let's see. WrestleTix. Here's the bad thing. They're going to be in Chicago next week. They've sold like 2,000 to 2,500 tickets. And that Wintrust Arena is got a capacity of 10,387. And they've sold about 2,000 tickets. Tonight, Reading, Pennsylvania, 2,627. It was set up for 2,841. The arena has a capacity of, let's look up the capacity of the Santander. So almost 9,000 seat building. And I don't even know if that is accounting for once you have floor seats. That's another couple hundred. Well, maybe about another 100 or 2. So they're going to get almost 9,000 people in this building. And they had about 2,600. So, yeah. Not good. But here's the good thing. Yesterday, AEW did announce 17 dates from December to March. Yes, they announced some bigger venues. They also announced, a lot of smaller venues as well. They announced a theater in Phoenix. They announced so they're going to Louisville, Kentucky, and instead of running the big college basketball building arena, they're going to run a smaller building there. I think in Clarksville, they're running a smaller building. In Knoxville, they're going to run the smaller building. So they are running smaller buildings going forward, but it's like they still got some booked up right now that is not going to be good. Because the one thing they need to do is get in these smaller buildings so then the building looks packed and then they don't have to black out the crowd. Because when you got Moxley out there trying to cut this super serious promo and like everything around him is just black and you don't see people in there at all, maybe like the first 2 rows, might as well take any of this serious, But what did you think of tonight's Dynamite?
Honestly, I was pretty bored throughout this show, which I know during the show, when I saw the card going in, I didn't really expect a whole lot. I thought tonight was just gonna try to be like a wrap up, like, yeah, let's just give the Death Riders and Orange Cassidy some momentum going into Full Gear. Like, that's kind of what I just expected, but
and
yeah,
they announced less than they had been recently too. Like the last couple of weeks, they'd announced like 8 to 10 things. I saw 4 or 5. Like when I did my preview this morning, there was 4. And I never even saw anything past that announced. Yeah. Coming into this show, only 4 things were announced. So, not good.
Yeah, like, I don't know, maybe Tony Khan is finally like realizing that, like, hey, like, maybe like I'm booking too many matches on a show.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like, and I get it, WWE sometimes only announces 2 or 3 things for a show and they're fine. But what happened to those days when you'd go to watch Dynamite and Tony Khan would have everything announced the week before? Excalibur's over here trying to announce 15 different things for 2 different shows in 30 seconds. Remember when I used to always make fun of Excalibur doing those fast preview things? Where I'd be like, hey, go to next week we have this. Like, you don't get those no more because they don't announce as much ahead of time, which really, I think, is a hindrance to AEW. Because if you think about it, the last couple of weeks, they have announced more things coming off of the Dynamite to the next Dynamite, or coming off a Collision to the next Dynamite. And they actually had attendance up a little bit. I think when they were in Washington, it may have been, they had like 3,500 people. They hadn't been doing over or even close to 3,000 for a while. So it's like, we'll see how it goes. Also, one cool thing that is going to help AEW is going into the new year, because they don't have to film Rampage anymore. They're actually going to do a lot of Wednesday double tapings with both Dynamite and Collision. So if you're going to a Wednesday Dynamite, there's a good chance you're probably going to get a Collision at the same time. So you're going to get a double taping. So that's a really cool benefit that they're doing. So more Collisions are going to be taped going forward. That is going to be a thing, instead of the Rampages being taped. Now, I'm not saying all Collisions are going to be taped shows going forward in the new year, but I think from January to March, the first week of March, there's only 2 live Dynamite or Collisions. The rest are all taped either on a Wednesday or a Thursday. So, also the other thing we got to talk about, Toni Storm. You were asking if I saw this earlier. Yep, saw this earlier. We put up an article about it. I did a video about it. And I'm going to read here about what Toni Storm said today, and then tell you what I think this actually is. So I'm reading this from our website, pwunlimited.co, where I wrote the following. For many years, Toni Storm has been considered one of the best female pro wrestlers in the world. There was a time when no woman could have a match as good as Toni Storm. While in AEW, she actually reinvented herself as timeless Toni Storm, but has not been seen in AEW since dropping the Women's World Championship to Mariah May at All In. Since then, she's worked for CMLL and Stardom, and is now claiming that she's done with pro wrestling. While speaking with James Dater of SB Nation, Storm claimed that she is retiring and leaving pro wrestling, stating, quote, I'm not used to being a loser. I failed at everything. I lost in AEW. I lost in Japan. I lost in Mexico. This is the last you'll hear from me again. Enjoy Mariah May as your champion. You can all enjoy that. AEW is just fine without me. Everything is going well for AEW. They don't need Toni Storm. She would then close out the interview by stating, tits in. Oh, hold on. I didn't write this down, but hold on. She would close out the interview by stating,
was it chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe?
That's it. Chin down, tits in. Don't bother watching for the shoe. So it's unclear, which I think it is more clear, but it's kind of unclear if Toni Storm is saying my 14-year career in pro wrestling is actually done, or if this is a storyline. And I think it is more storyline than anything. I think what this could be is not Toni Storm done with wrestling. I think timeless Toni Storm is done with pro wrestling and leaving wrestling. I think that's what it is more than the actual Toni Storm leaving wrestling, because I think there's a very, very good chance that we see Toni Storm this Saturday at AEW Full Gear. I think real name Toni Rossel shows up this weekend, and we get the old Toni Storm, the rocker Toni Storm, the badass Toni Storm, not the I'm a 1920s actress Toni Storm. What do you take of all this? And Toni saying, quote, I'm done. I'm leaving pro wrestling.
I mean, this is obviously a storyline.
I think so.
Now that means if they're going back to old Toni Storm, no more Luther the Butler.
Did Luther really provide really much of anything anyways, though?
I mean, he tried to help Toni win during their matches.
I mean, yeah. Other than that, I really would forget he's there half the time, if not more than half the time. But I thought that was interesting. And, you know, everyone being like, oh, what is this? Is this real? Is this fake? Is this da-da-da-da? I don't think it's fake per se. I don't think she's lying. I think it's character change. I think the character is changing, and she is coming back as the old Toni Storm. I guess you would say, what were they called? Outcast Toni Storm, kinda, if you may. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below, or to get your comment, question, or concern read, you can do so by donating Twitch bits, in the live chat. Also, remember, you can support the channel by subscribing one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to help us out on YouTube. Go over there and hit that subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live. And that way you know when we post to the community tab. Also, remember to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air. You can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. Also, don't forget, if you want to support the channel another way, you can do so by hitting the join button and becoming a channel member. Whether you do so at just the $1 tier, that is greatly appreciated. If you do so, whether it's here on YouTube or patreon.com/PW Unlimited. Also, remember to head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store right now and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Right now, they do have their Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale going on, so you might want to get into that. Maybe you want to get that new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate. Maybe you want Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. Maybe you even want Lego Horizon Adventures. All great fun games. Go get those on the Epic Game Store and use our code PWUNLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. But with all of that, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about when it comes to AEW Dynamite. As far as Dynamite does go, AEW Dynamite comes on the air with an abbreviated version of the November Rain video. And so this video played on Collision. I watched the whole video. It was like 8-9 minutes long. And I'm like, oh, that was cool. But it really did nothing for me. But then I hear all these people, oh my God, it's the greatest video ever. It really hyped up the show for me and this and that and so forth. And I'm like, I don't know about that. At least for me, it didn't. And maybe because I don't know the song. I don't even know if I've ever even heard this song before. Did you watch this November Rain hype video?
I did not know.
Okay, so basically, they did a bad job with this on Collision because most people didn't realize that this was the main event segment for Collision this past Saturday. And it's like 9 minutes long. And like YouTube TV cut it. Didn't even get the end of it because they didn't record the overrun. Anyways, that's a whole different thing they've had having issues with. But it's like, it was a well done video, but like it didn't hit for me like I heard it hit for other people. And maybe just I don't have no connection to the song. I don't even know the song. So, I don't know. But Excalibur welcomes us to the show alongside Tony Schiavone and old Daddy Magic. Daddy Magic's so good on commentary. Just leave him on commentary going forward. We don't, and I hate to say this, but like, who do you like better, Daddy Magic or Nigel?
I like Daddy Magic.
I'd say that too. Like, I love Nigel McGuinness on commentary. I think I like Daddy Magic just a little bit better. And that's a whole opinion based, so don't yell
Daddy
at me.
Magic has a better personality.
You think?
I mean, the way he talks though on commentary just sounds a lot better.
Think it's the accent, his New York accent compared to Nigel's British.
It's the accent.
Also, where's this guy from? Because any Canadian, but he sounds like he's from New York. Matt Menard. Where's he from? No, I don't want 2 point. There we go. He is from Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Well, I guess he probably spent a lot of time in New York or something growing up. I don't know. But regardless, I think he's great. I love him on commentary. Keep him on commentary. Yeah, keep him as the guy on Dynamite till Taz comes back, and just keep Nigel and Tony doing the other stuff. So they welcome us to the show. They tell us our main event tonight is Orange Cassidy and Wheeler Yuta, student versus teacher. And we open up with the all-star 8-man tag team match. It is the Don Callis family, Konosuke Takeshita, Lance Archer, Brian Cage, and Kyle Fletcher against the team of Ricochet, Will Ospreay, Mark Davis, and Powerhouse Hobbs. So I want to say this was Mark Davis's first match since October 2023 at WrestleDream. He's been out for that long. As far as this match goes, though, the babyfaces wasted no time rushing the ramp to start the brawl early, and it was all chaos at ringside. Match officially began with Takeshita and Davis in the ring, and Davis was using his size to overcome and get the best of Takeshita, where I'm like, I wrote it like that, but then as I write it, I'm also like, it's not that much bigger than Takeshita. What am I even thinking? He sent him to the outside. Ricochet then hit a nice big dive. Brian Cage then quickly came in for a chokeslam on Davis, posted Ricochet, but then Ospreay ran in with a PK on the apron, teased a dive, but got knocked down by Fletcher. Hobbs then slowly stalked Fletcher up the ropes, but Archer made the save. Trapped Hobbs' leg between the steps, and Cage sent Ospreay into them. Medical then checked on Hobbs, who limped to the back. Could they be doing a worse job reintroducing Powerhouse Hobbs since his return? That's a legit question. Could they be doing a worse job?
No, not really.
Because it's like Hobbs came back and then all the fanfare, he's Ricochet's teammate. And then like nothing. And then here they do an injury angle with him. Why?
This dude literally came back from injury.
Exactly. I hate this. They did it with Adam Cole too for the first 2 weeks he was back. Where it's like, oh, he's coming back off of an ankle injury. The ankle's not going to be 100%. So we have to sell the ankle and sell the ankle. And it's like, no, I don't want him selling the ankle. I don't want him to seem weak. I want to know that he's back and back doing good stuff. Because it's like, he also did that match on Collision, I want to say with Bulk Bronson. It's like a 50-50 back and forth 3.5 minute match where he should have just killed this dude.
Exactly.
So, anyways, where was I? Hobbs limps to the back as Ospreay tried to check on him. Ricochet countered an Archer chokeslam into a Hurricane Rana, but Archer was back up and cleared house, chokeslamming Ricochet over the top rope onto a pile of guys on the outside as he go to commercial break. Ricochet was worked over the entire break, but mounted a comeback. When things then returned, there was a rolling blue thunder bomb for a near fall. Handspring back elbow created a double down as Ospreay and Fletcher both tagged in and went full speed briefly until Fletcher quickly bailed and Takeshita was back in. Davis then hoisted him up into a fireman's carry, and Ospreay hit a pumped knee before a double team cutter got a near fall. Cage and Archer then jumped in and cleaned house as commentary put over how dominant they have been as a tag team. Takeshita connected on a blue thunder bomb on Ospreay, who kicked out and kind of finally got the crowd behind him. Because coming into this match, or not coming into this match, but early on in this match, and as we listened to most of this show, It was a very nothing happening crowd for the most part. They would get up and get hyped for some things, but not most things. Kind of a dead crowd for the most part. Where was I? At one point, Ospreay fought free and made a hot tag as Hobbs eventually came back on one leg. He got tagged in and ran wild with some corner splashes. The straps then lowered as Archer ate a snap power slam before Davis tagged in with multiple big boots and a powerful right hand on Takeshita. Davis then dodged the power drive knee and hit a wild gut wrench pile driver for a 2. Fletcher then broke the count and slapped Davis in the face, who shot a double leg, only to eat it to catch the forearm. Everyone then took turns hitting high impact moves, leaving Ospreay and Fletcher to slug it out and do some crazy series of counters and whatnot in the end, with Ospreay hitting a standing Spanish fly. Fletcher then pulled Davis in the way of a hidden blade before taking out the pile on the outside. Takeshita then lowered the knee, hit the knee on Davis, power drive knee that is, and pinned him to pick up the victory. So the Don Callis family does get the win. What'd you think of this match as I go turn my fan on real fast?
The match wasn't bad. I mean, I thought it was kind of cool for the Don Callis family to win, just to give them like the upper hand going into Full Gear, because I kind of feel like Will Ospreay, he's probably going to beat Kyle Fletcher if I had to predict.
Good chance.
So I just think like if we go by like normal like storyline, a lot of times when the heel like gets that last like upper hand on that show going into the pay-per-view, like 90% of the time we see the babyface winning at the pay-per-view.
Now, here's the thing with that though. You're thinking WWE logic. You got to think that's how Vince always booked. That's how Triple H still kind of sometimes books. Not necessarily with Tony Khan though. I've been a proponent of that too, where I say that and then someone will correct me and go, but you're thinking WWE. You're used to WWE booking that way. Sometimes Tony books that way. Sometimes he doesn't. So it's a little bit of a toss-up. But I think you are right in saying Will Ospreay most likely picking up that victory. So we go backstage. John Moxley is there with the Death Riders. Call Orange Cassidy a snake. Moxley said that his job on Saturday is to eliminate Cassidy, who is a sociopath, as he's a threat to his people and will be destroyed. So much going on behind Cassidy's eyes, as he might make it to Full Gear with his mind intact, but can't say the same about his body. Claudio Cassidy newly promises tonight he will end Darby Allin. So I'm just going to ask you right now, we'll just get into the question. What are your thoughts on Orange Cassidy as the challenger to John Moxley, main eventing this pay-per-view? Does he really feel like someone that could stop the Death Riders and be that savior for AEW?
If I'm going to be completely honest with you, the way they book a lot of these guys, I don't really see anyone on the roster who feels like above that like top guy that could be like that Lord and Savior.
So in my opinion, I think the only person right now that feels like that could be like a Will Ospreay, but he's not part of this storyline. It's going to be Darby in the end. Darby is the one that's going to end Moxley's reign.
It's obviously going to be Darby, and plus, like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in the company that keeps pushing for Darby.
Well, that was the original plan before things got changed, was Darby beating Bryan at Wrestle Dream for the title, ending Bryan's career. And not as like a heel ending his career. It's more it's like a two baby faces going out there in their home state having a great match and Darby getting the torch passed to him.
But then Bryan wanted Mox to dethrone him.
Yeah. So I'm going to just say right now, they have not done a good job building up Orange Cassidy as the challenger to Moxley to the point where I'm watching this main event. I'm watching this angle afterwards. This guy duct taped together. And then he gets to his feet and he's like, you haven't killed me yet. It's the Jeff Hardy Undertaker ladder match thing. Or he doesn't say it, but he's basically like, yeah, you haven't killed me yet. Did you ever see that match on Raw? Undertaker and Jeff Hardy in the ladder match for the Undisputed Championship? So they have this great ladder match. It's the first ladder match. It might be the only ladder match The Undertaker ever did. WWE Undisputed Championship hanging above the ring. He destroys, beats the shit out of Jeff Hardy. Hits him with just some of the worst unprotected chair shots you've ever seen. And Undertaker wins. He gets out of the ring, and Jeff Hardy's laying there in the mat, kind of like propping himself up on the ropes, grabs the mic and goes, Undertaker! Undertaker, you haven't killed me yet! So Undertaker turns around and goes, the fuck? So he goes back down to the ring, and you go, oh, he's going to kill Jeff Hardy. And then he picks Jeff Hardy up and kind of like shakes his hand. He's like, you got my respect, kid. And so, like, that's what it felt like with Orange Cassidy in the main event, and we'll get to it later, but where he's like, got to his feet, tries to put his hands in his pockets, but his body's so beat up that he collapses. And it's like, yeah, I get what you're trying to do. You can hurt me, but you can't take me out. But I feel nothing as far as like, oh, Orange Cassidy might be able to get this done. Oh, Orange Cassidy is a threat to John Moxley. No, I feel like this Orange Cassidy goofball nerd goob is just going to get his ass beat. Like, I have all this, honestly, they have done nothing to interest me in an Orange Cassidy, John Moxley pay-per-view main event. The match will probably be really good, but the story has been so bad for me as far as like building him up as someone that could be a viable threat to John Moxley that it's just like, I don't care. Again, I think the match can be good because we've seen the two have good matches in the past. But storyline wise, as a challenger to this super group, if you may want to call them that, they just haven't done a good job at all. But Darby Allin, we see him walk up in the loading dock area. He's got a skateboard in hand. I couldn't tell exactly what was on the bottom of the skateboard, but the way he was holding it, I think, and I could be wrong here, maybe someone could correct me, was that like a Millennium Falcon on the bottom of the skateboard? I don't know, but it kind of looked like a Millennium Falcon on the bottom of the skateboard.
I did not check.
Because I thought he was going to like flip it around or do something with skateboard. He's got a skateboard in his hand. I'm like, oh, show me the skateboard. I think it's similar. I could be wrong. But he basically was just like, said all the Death Riders will have their day. Tonight he's going to take out Claudio. I'm like, okay. So then they hype up. Next week, the Continental Classic kicks off on Thanksgiving Eve Dynamite. And then they basically just, as they're showing it and like hyping up the show, they quickly show the Continental Champion Kazuchika Okada. But don't give us goddamn brackets. Where are the brackets? I need brackets. Why are they not telling us who's in this tournament? If you're hyping up the tournament for next week's show to say, hey, watch next week, come to Chicago, you'll see the kickoff of the Continental Classic, then why not give us brackets? I highly doubt Tony doesn't know by now who's in what group and who's in this tournament. I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Tony Khan already has at least the field set. Who's in the gold group? Who's in the B group? Why couldn't he tell us that tonight to hype up next week's show? Is this going to be some big special announcement for the pay-per-view? I mean, that's possible, but why not give it to us tonight? You're going to have more people watching tonight's Dynamite than the pay-per-view. They do roughly 100 to 120,000 on pay-per-view. They do roughly 700,000-ish, sometimes lower, but most weeks 700,000-ish on a Dynamite. So you would think, oh, we're hyping up the tournament, the C2, the Continental Classic. How about we tell you who's in it? Or at least a couple of names. Say, hey, here are 4 guys in the Gold League and 4 guys in the Blue League. Want to know the rest? Check out the pay-per-view this weekend for the full rundown. But they didn't even do any of that. They were just like, next week, the Continental Classic kicks off on Dynamite Thanksgiving Eve from Chicago. Okay. And then they showed Okada. Didn't tell us if Okada's even in the tournament. We don't even know if the Continental Champion is in the tournament. Because we don't know if the Continental Champion is in the tournament and how that's going to work, or if the winner just gets a shot at the Continental Champion and the Continental title. Yeah. This is something that kind of grinded my gears. It's like we tell them all the time, promote, promote, promote. And I mean, it's easier said than done. I get that. But it's like, at this point, 1 week out from this tournament, I know I'm sounding like a broken record now. 1 week out from this tournament, you got to think Tony most likely may not have the whole tournament laid out, but knows who's in the tournament, knows all 12 people. I think it's 12. Yeah, all 12 people. I think it's 12. But yeah. Any thoughts on Continental Classic coming next week?
Honestly, I feel like it's just gonna be full of a bunch of names that like everybody's gonna know that none of them are gonna beat Okada.
Not necessarily. And also, we don't know what's going on with Okada. Is Okada in the tournament getting stripped of the belt and then the winner of the tournament gets the belt? That's the way they kind of explained it last year. Or, like I said, is Okada not in the tournament and the winner just gets a shot at him? We don't know. All we know is that if it goes off of last year, 6 in the Blue League, 6 in the Gold League. That's all we know so far. So, yeah. Give us something, Tony. I wouldn't be surprised, and this would really piss me off, if he announces it and brackets in the freaking media call tomorrow. Oh, hey, by the way, here are guys in the Continental Classic. Like, that would be a Tony Khan thing to do. Not announce it on the show, but announce it somewhere where most people won't even hear it.
Probably be on a media call.
So, I'm kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt of saying they might announce all the names on the pay-per-view. That's me giving them the benefit of the doubt. Most likely, we're just going to go into the show next week and they'll be like, Continental Classic kicks off tonight. Oh, by the way, here are the names in the tournament.
My guess is maybe it's either going to be Tony Khan or maybe Tony Schiavone be like the Continental Classic will be starting on this date and here are the participants, and they'll do like a hype video for each wrestler maybe.
Don't fucking tell me they're going to do some what's it called? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. They're going to do some Continental Classic Control Center YouTube video to announce it all. We don't need that. We need it on television. And even last year, here's the thing. Last year, 1 week out, we knew all the names already. A week before the tournament started, we knew all the names already. But anyways, can't beat a dead horse when you're like promote. So I forgot to mention during the 8-man tag, a graphic popped up on the bottom of the screen that said Bobby Lashley will have a 2-on-1 match tonight. He'll be in a handicap match. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Then Renee's in the parking lot. You can tell she's cold. She's bundled up in this jacket. And a white SUV pulls up. Out comes Bobby Lashley in the Hurt Syndicate. MVP, Shelton Benjamin. She goes, MVP, I hear you got a big announcement to make tonight. What do you got? He's like, I want to let everybody know, here in Reading, Pennsylvania, Bobby Lashley is going to have his first match for AEW. It is a 2-on-1 handicap match. And I'm like, we already know that, bub. They showed a graphic. We already know. They blew your announcement. And then, of course, all of a sudden, Swerve comes from out of nowhere, attacks Bobby Lashley. He's got a chain wrapped around his hand. And then he runs off as MVP and Shelton Benjamin tend to their fallen bro. What'd you think of this?
It was
Yeah. Especially, don't even get me started later on, hey, we found it. Swerve. We gotta be very quiet. We're gonna sneak up on him and get him. It's like, what is this, the crocodile hunter? Crikeys, mate. We found ourselves the dango. But we gotta be very quiet not to scare him away. Anyways. MVP. Oh, no, I already read that. Duh. We just talked about that. Adam Cole then came out. Not an okay reaction from the crowd, but again, the crowd was just there. Adam Cole comes down to the ring and says, it's story time with Adam Cole, baby. Cole said that MJF succeeded in doing everything in his power to keep Cole from getting his match at Full Gear. Did he really? Did he really do everything in his power? I mean, I guess by giving Don Callis the ring and allowing Takeshita to use the ring and then use the ring on Adam Cole. So I guess. Anyways. One person who was successful was Roderick Strong. And who fucking cares about MJF versus Roderick Strong? I don't. Do you?
I mean, MJF's gonna win.
Well, yeah. But do you
So,
care?
like-
Do you honestly care about an MJF Roderick Strong pay-per-view match?
No.
Yeah, me neither. What the fuck are they doing here? Anyways, he said, well, at least one person did something right. It was Roddy. He will kick MJF's ass this Saturday. I thought, like, oh, he lost last week. MJF never said anything about if you lose before 3, you don't get the match. It was you got to get 3 in a row. So I thought maybe, oh, well, he lost last week on Dynamite. Well, he's got like 5 more shows to get 3 more wins. He had a Rampage, he had a Collision, another Dynamite, and a Rampage. 4 more shows to get 3 more wins. But no, they're just not even going to. You know, there's a good chance Adam Cole screws MJF instead to piss off MJF to get that match. That's how they get to Adam Cole and MJF. MJF's just like, you know what? Screw it. You wanna screw me out of a match, Roderick Strong? Well, I want you now. And then maybe that's the World's End match. I don't know. But Adam Cole's most likely playing a factor into this match at the pay-per-view. Anyways, Kyle O'Reilly makes his way down to the ring. Brought up how 14 years ago in Reading, both of them had their second pro match against each other. Being associated with Cole throughout his career has had serious highs and lows. But he's the only one who could tell him the truth. The obsession with MJF needs to stop. Friends are willing to take bullets for him, O'Reilly included. But he doesn't have a good feeling Strong, who almost didn't make it out last week, can get the job done against MJF. And I'm like, now you care about Adam Cole? Last week you wouldn't even shake the fucker's hand. O'Reilly asked, what makes Cole think MJF is in 3 steps ahead already? Cole needs to realize why so many are willing to go to war for him. Because he's a leader and a friend who doesn't want to see his other friends get hurt. At least, that's what Kyle hopes. MJF is more of an evil bastard than Cole will ever be. And that's a good thing. O'Reilly left the ring, and Cole was left to ponder on that thought. And I'm like, that was it. I kind of get where they're going. Adam's going to have to get a little evil to take out MJF and get his revenge, but it's like, I don't know. The crowd just didn't care. I almost didn't care. I love Adam Cole. Adam Cole is one of my favorite current pro wrestlers, but what they're doing now it's not that intriguing. What did you think?
I mean, I actually just thought of something.
Go for it.
So, let's say during the match, the MJF and Roderick Strong match at Full Gear, MJF's about to use the ring. Then, let's say, Wardlow comes out, because we haven't seen Wardlow in a while, and who knows if he's cleared.
Okay, there you go. I was going to say Wardlow's out with a knee injury. You're right. He could be cleared, and we just don't know.
If he is, would it be a bad opportunity to bring him back?
True, because there's that history there with MJF.
The reason why Wardlow joined the Undisputed Kingdom, because he hates MJF.
Mm-hmm. Not a bad idea at all. I didn't even think about that, because my mind is just Wardlow's hurt. It's whatever.
Let's say there's a stipulation Adam Cole can't be involved whatsoever because he still has to find a way to get to MJF.
No, they would have said that tonight. I doubt that gets added on. They're not going to add that on a Rampage. So yeah, I doubt that stip gets added. They would have said it tonight.
Or Adam Cole said, I sent out Wardlow to get under your skin because I've brought back someone who hates you just as much as I do.
Right.
Do you feel like this whole Adam Cole and MJF stuff is backwards a little bit?
Yes. Because when they started it all, Adam Cole was the heel, MJF was the babyface. Adam Cole was the devil, started this evil group to get to MJF, and then of course Adam Cole had to leave. Comes back as a babyface. And they're headstrong on him remaining babyface because MJF has been back as a heel. Pretty bad dastardly heel. So it's oh, well, if he's going to be the heel, we can't switch him now and this and that. And so it just doesn't make any sense anymore. Because it's why? The character of MJF comes off as a couple of things. A, I don't care about Adam Cole. Yeah, he tried to take me out at the end of last year. He screwed me and let me lose the world title, but it's like, whatever, I've moved on. And the fact that MJF has been gone, filming movies, does not help this storyline. I feel like he needs to be there because right now it doesn't feel like there's any legs to it. It feels very lackluster, and a lot of that is because MJF is not there. They're not doing many back and forths. They're not really doing any back and forths. It's all Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. And now with the Roddy stuff, it's like, what's the history with Roderick Strong and MJF? There really isn't, other than, oh, you were in that group that Adam tried to start. You were one of his minions of the devil. But it's like, what? It's just too many potholes and broken lines.
Yep. Trust me, there's a lot of people on social media who said like this feels very backwards.
It's feeling it's feeling way too forced for what they want it to be.
Well, like even when like, well, for one, I don't know why they turned MJF back to heel anyway.
Well, it's because of the whole Will Ospreay stuff. Will Ospreay, Daniel Garcia stuff.
I know, but like still, they didn't need to like turn him a heel.
You want him to be a babyface against Ospreay? You want him to take out Daniel Garcia in the way he did as a babyface? Plus, MJF is just a better heel anyways.
He is, but it's like still like but AEW should have had this coming. They should have been like you knew you were going to go back to the Adam Cole feud. You started this out as like MJF being the babyface, Adam Cole being the heel. You knew what you were coming to, so you should have like been prepared for it.
So you're saying before Adam got back, they should have switched MJF back to a babyface?
Honestly, I kind of feel like they should have kept him as a babyface this entire time.
No,
like, they should have just thought of something different for MJF to do.
Yeah.
Like, because like you knew like Adam Cole was gonna be back like sometime soon. So why'd you have to like hurry up and switch MJF to heel just because he's better as a heel anyway?
So here's the thing though, they didn't know when Adam Cole was coming back. Adam Cole's thing was like kind of like we're playing it by ear. Adam Cole came back when he came back, but they didn't know that far in advance when he was going to be back. That was the thing though. And then what hurt him was, yeah, okay, they turned MJF heel on his return and he did all the stuff as a heel. Yes, they could have switched him to a babyface before Adam Cole got back, but the problem was, here he left and started going to do movies, so they didn't have any time for him to switch to a babyface. That's the issue, because he's gone, filming movies. And my issue with all of this is it's making us as the viewer feel like, oh, why should we care if he doesn't care? He's not here. This ain't his priority. His priority is going out there and making an Adam Sandler movie. His priority is going out there and making a Ron Perlman movie, a Justin Long movie. So he's over here doing all this stuff. They're trying to still keep him involved, but it's like, is this his priority? It's like The Rock. Eventually, when The Rock kept leaving to go do more and more movies, people were less and less interested in Rock's storylines. Now, granted, Rock was working with a lot of bigger names than Adam Cole, no offense. I think Adam Cole's amazing and great, but also, what's with Adam Cole and his goddamn spray tan every week? Looking like a pumpkin. A burnt pumpkin.
Maybe. I just thought of something funny, actually.
Putting on too much of that spray tan and bronzer.
I actually just thought of something funny. Have you seen, remember when Johnny TV did that, or John Morrison did that interview with Chris Van Vliet, and he said a story how Vince told him like, you need to get a tan, John. You look terrible out there. Then next week he looked exactly the same, and Vince was like, hey John, you look fantastic.
Yep.
Maybe Tony's like, Adam, you need to get a tan.
That was like Dolph Ziggler told a story one time on a podcast. It may have been Busted Open Radio, where he was like, so Vince wanted to make a change, and he told me, we're gonna cut your hair and you're gonna dye it black, and we're gonna see if the crowd changes and if the crowd reacts better to you. And he looks at Vince and goes, are you sure about that? Like, are you sure? And Vince's like, yeah, it's gonna work, promise. And so they cut his hair, They dye it black. He goes out there. He says, in his words, I had the most boring. And he said, Vince told me, don't be Dolph Ziggler. Don't be the show off. Don't go out there and swivel my hips. Don't do any of the regular tropes. And he's like, I went out there, and I forget who the match was against, but he's like, I went out there and had the world's worst, most boring 6-minute match. Walked in the back. Vince looked at me and goes, well, that didn't work. Like, what? I have a similar thing.
I think of another like scenario.
But it's just funny because I think it was the Malachi Black match. Adam Cole's got this super like MJF style over tanned tan. And when he lowered the boom for the knee, it rubbed off the tanner. And so his knee was all whiter as a ghost than the rest of his body. It was pretty funny. Elite Tish says Dolph had black hair. Well, it was like more brown, but yeah, when he was with Vicky, they had him cut his hair and dye the blonde out of it. Dye it back to like dark brown. It was very, very, very brief. Because as he says, he goes backstage and Vince goes, well, that didn't work. And the next week he was blonde again, basically. So, but yeah. This feud just, there's no life to it to me. It feels like it's Adam Cole trying to keep this alive with a guy that's not there, and he's not doing as good of a job as Drew McIntyre did with CM Punk not there. That's what you can compare this to. A guy trying to keep a feud going when the other guy's not there. Fucking Drew McIntyre had one of the greatest feuds we've seen last couple of years almost by himself for weeks. And Cole's just not getting it done. And I don't know if that's a Cole issue. I don't know if that's a writing team issue, a Tony Khan issue. We don't know.
That might just be maybe that's just a writing team issue.
Right. We got an orange cast.
Or like,
go for it.
Or maybe like Adam Cole's like one of those guys that never mind. I almost said maybe Adam Cole's just one of those guys that just like benefits from like a written script.
Oh no. You ever watch his ROH stuff back in the day? Gold. Money.
See, that's the thing. I didn't really pay attention much to his ROH stuff. The only stuff I did pay attention to was when he joined Bullet Club and he got kicked out.
Yep. They weren't scripting him in ROH in New Japan. Tell you what. Real Bang says, Drew is just built different. Ain't that the truth? Drew McIntyre. I think I might give him a vote for Wrestler of the Year, which are plugging on that actually. December 1st, we are going to put out our basically our voting. We're going to put out we're doing our year-end awards again. And starting on December 1st, we're going to put out all the categories and allow you guys to vote for nominees. And then I don't have the date clarified. I don't know how long we want to let you guys vote for nominees and stuff. But then we'll take that and we'll take 4 or 5 from each category and let you guys vote again on who you think the winners should be. And then we'll do first week of January, most likely, do our year-end awards for 2024. But for me, I'm pretty heavy. I'm maybe voting Drew McIntyre as Wrestler of the Year this year. I know a lot of people probably give it to Cody. Maybe Danielson. But for what Drew McIntyre was able to do this year, that's, for me, a standout.
Honestly, Drew carry 2024.
Oh yeah.
Him and Cody.
Oh yeah. So we got an Orange Cassidy promo backstage. Says he's going to make an example out of Wheeler Yuta tonight for doing the same thing to Jon Moxley on Saturday. And he's saying all this, and I don't believe a word. I don't believe a single word. He said, and I want to do it alone. Conglomeration, then walk up. Mark Briscoe was like, Orange Cassidy, what do you mean you want to do it alone? It's 5 of them or one of you. You need our help. And he's like, respectfully, I get it. But I need to do this on my own. I need to prove this on my own. So no matter what happens, I don't want you guys to come out. I don't want you guys to help me. And Mark Briscoe was like, well, if that's what you want, then we respect it. And he's like, it'll be 5-on-1. And that's fine by me. He promises, or he says that Moxley, go ahead and do what you're going to do tonight. become Full Gear. I'm going to get all the help I need. Or something like that. I didn't write it down fully. But yeah. It's like, again, I don't feel Orange Cassidy as a threat. As a actual challenger.
Neither do I.
Then we had Chris Statlander versus Hikaru Shida. Match is good. I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. So, both ladies pretty evenly matched early on. Shida worked to the arm before going to the corner with some punches, and the crowd is dead. Statlander slid out of the ring, swept the leg, and connected with a standing moonsault for a 2. There's a snap hurricane runner from Shida. Statlander cartwheeled out of it, which actually looked kind of cool. Took Shida down. Shida then battled back with a running knee lift on the edge of the ring as dueling chants did start as they were kind of getting the crowd going, and then we go to a break. Back from the break, Statlander hit a running corner knee strike before a spinning sit-out fisherman's buster for a near fall. Shida fought off a Wednesday night fever through a series of forearms, which Statlander no-sold. There's a wrist clutch schoolgirl that got Shida a 2. She then held on to the wrist and hit a pump knee. Shida stalled in trying to get her katana knee and kind of hesitated, but then connected on a Falcon Arrow for a close 2 and follows up with a release German suplex. Shida wanted to go for the katana again, hesitated once more, and this allowed Statlander to counter it into a Wednesday Night Fever and pin her to pick up the victory. Before we get into this preposterous post-match, what did you think of the match itself?
Honestly, I feel like it was kind of just there. It was like nothing special at all.
Yeah, that is true. So, what the fuck are they doing with Camille? It's like, is she scared to stand up to Mercedes? Am I taking that right, or am I taking that wrong? It almost feels like she's scared to stand up to Mercedes and tell Mercedes, no, I'm not going to do your bidding. I'm hurt. I can't, you know?
This reminds me of the Christian Cage and Kill Switch stuff.
Yeah.
Like Christian Cage says, like, get down on one knee or give me your contract.
JBL and Shawn Michaels. Like that too, where Shawn Michaels needed the money, so he worked for JBL, and JBL told him what to do. He's like, do this, do that. It's like kind of similar. Or the Authority in Big Show, where Stephanie was like, you don't want to listen to me, and she slaps him across the face.
Like, do your job or you're fired.
Basically. So Statlander helped Shida to her feet. They shook hands post-match, and out came Mercedes Moné, with Camille still wearing the sling. Moné talked down about the 76ers and then said, you know, my Boston Celtics are a lot better. Got heat from the crowd. Mentioned that holding the TBS title. She said that she's held the TBS title longer than Statlander ever did. She said, I'm the greatest TBS champion of all time and will never lose the belt. Crowd then starts chanting, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. And like commentary doesn't want to address what they're saying, but they're like, oh, they're letting Mercedes know what they think of her. And she gets flustered for a second. Then she tells Camille something. I don't even know what she said. She's like, gotta get in there, get. I'm like, what? I don't even know what she actually said. I thought she like told her to go get something out of the back or something. I don't even know. But I guess she told her to get in the ring and get both women. And Statlander and Shida are just standing in the ring like, what's going on? What are we waiting for? What are we doing here? And Camille looks at her and she's like, I'm hurt. And like, Mercedes like, hurry up. And she like smacks her on the shoulder. And like this was one of the worst parts about it. She smacks her on the shoulder and you see this look in Camille's face like, oh shit, am I supposed to sell this or not? Is it the shoulder that's hurt? Am I supposed to sell her hitting me in the shoulder? Like at first she kind of like winces and then she doesn't wince. And then she kind of, this is bad. This is real bad. So she eventually gets in the ring, stands between Shida and Statlander, and it's like they all just don't know what to do for a second. And Camille just looks lost. Statlander and Shida then proceed to promptly get her ass out of there. They send her to the outside. Shida then went after her as Moné tried to sneak attack Statlander from behind. And it continues to get worse. So Mercedes jumps on Statlander's back to try to go for the backstabber. And freaking Statlander's just holding onto the top rope. And Mercedes is like bouncing like this on Statlander's back. It looks so stupid. Statlander doesn't budge. She eventually grabs Mercedes, hits her with the Wednesday Night Fever, lays her out, and then stands tall with the TBS title. This whole post-match was so bad. So bad. Thoughts?
Yeah, this was a mess. Like, so Camille's not actually injured, correct?
Not that I know of. I think they're selling the, which is weird that she's in the sling, because I thought it was like a hand thing when she smashed her hand and wrist in the car door. So is it worse? I don't know. I always thought it was she smashed the hand in the car door.
Yeah, I don't know. I've kind of given up on this Mercedes stuff. I don't think anyone really cares at this point, so they're kind of just doing whatever.
Yeah. So this wasn't much better here. MVP's in the back. And he walks up and they got a cameraman. It's him and Shelton. He's like, shh, hey, I found Swerve. We're going to go get him. I'm going to get him. They go up there. They attack what they say is, or think is, Swerve Strickland. And they hold this guy up against the wall and they're like, you ain't Swerve. Where'd you get this jacket? And like the guy's just like, and then freaking MVP hits him in the gut with a cane and they leave him laying down. And then Bobby Lashley's there and he's like, hey, we got to go. Your match is next, Bobby. And then they go for Bobby Lashley's match. This is so weird. It's like, crikey, I found a dango, but we got to be very careful not to scare him. Use your inside voice. Let's go. Felt like fucking Steve Irwin or the Crocodile Hunter.
I feel like we've seen a lot of this stuff like when Vince was in charge of WWE.
Oh, it felt like a super Vince corny storyline. We got a video package hyping up Switchblade Jay White versus Hangman Adam Page. They got a match yet again coming up at Full Gear. Bobby Lashley then had a handicap match where he took on Cheeseburger. So glad to see Cheeseburger on TV. And Joe Keys.
I totally forgot about Cheeseburger.
Right.
That's like a throwback right there.
So I'm not too familiar with Joe Keys. The name sounded familiar, but other than that, I don't know Joe Key. But Cheeseburger, great. But there was one bad part here. Cheeseburger was on. So both men did not want to start the match, right? And Bobby's like, what are we doing? I'm just going to grab one of you. And he goes to grab Cheeseburger and throw him over the top rope. And like Cheeseburger kind of no-sold it and barely got over the top rope. Like Cheeseburger didn't give anything. I'm not saying Cheeseburger dead weighted, but it's like Bobby tried to grab Cheeseburger and just throw him over the top rope. And I don't know if Bobby told him, I got you, don't worry about it. But he barely got Cheeseburger over this top rope. And Cheeseburger, a small man. Not saying Bobby messed up or anything, but it's like, suddenly Cheeseburger assisted a little bit. Anyways, he gets Cheeseburger, throws him across the ring. Cheeseburger stands up in the corner and Bobby squashes him, splashes him. Lashley then caught Keys charging and dropped him with a flatliner DDT combo. Basically, flatliner to Keys, DDT to Cheeseburger. Keys was easily dispatched to the floor, and Bobby mowed down Cheeseburger as the crowd is booing. Hits him with a just wicked, I don't care about your safety kind of dominator, where he just had him here. Boom! Like, holy shit. He goes for the pin, but Keys breaks it up. Oh boy, Keys, you shouldn't have done that. Lashley then actually sold some brief offense for a minute before flattening Keys with the spine buster and a spear, put him in the hurt lock, and Keys went out cold. Bobby Lashley wins his AEW debut. Very cool. Very good. I thought to get over Bobby Lashley is just this dominating factor. That's just, I could beat up as many guys as you throw at me kind of guy. This was the right move. This was a really great way. Yes, everybody watching this show probably knows who Bobby Lashley is and has seen Bobby Lashley in the past. But it was a great way to introduce Bobby Lashley before the Swerve match. Post-match. Go for it.
Someone in the YouTube chat was asking me like, what are my thoughts on the Hurt Syndicate and AEW? I mean, we'll see how they get booked like later on. That's all I gotta say. I'm curious how they use the Hurt Syndicate like in the long run.
Yeah, the Swerve stuff I think has been good, but it's like, okay, that's one storyline, one feud out of however many they're going to be in. So you got to give it time to flesh it out. You can always have a hot start, but it's how you progress and keep them going, like you said, over time.
Because like it's kind of hard to predict until like a month or two later almost.
Right. Yeah. So Swerve's music hits. Prince Nana comes out on the stage with the chair. Benjamin goes after him, chases him to the back. All of a sudden, here comes Swerve from under the ring. Attacks Bobby Lashley with steel chain again. And drops MVP. Returning Shelton Benjamin, hitting a house call and a Swerve stomp on Lashley. Strickland then bails out in the crowd as MVP and a Benjamin recover. And there we go. Swerve stands tall. This was good to build up for the pay-per-view. I think this is one of the better hyped up and promoted built up matches for Full Gear.
I agree with this one.
So then, got more titty shaking. Renee Paquette's backstage with Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa. We talk about, I guess they're teaming together on Rampage. I have the Rampage lineup here. Yeah, Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa in tag team action. Didn't say who the opponents are. So they talk about they're going to team up on Rampage. Get back to... And then they're going to have the Champagne Championship celebration at Full Gear. May said that no champion deserves a celebration more than me. She takes shit and makes it shine. Anytime, anywhere. You hold the AEW Women's title or you die. Mina said that she will give Mariah the celebration she deserves. As everybody wanted Mina back. But she is here only for Mariah. Mariah then says something like, you know what this means, right? And then Mina just starts going, and then she starts dancing. And then fucking Mariah starts shaking her titties. And they're all like, and I'm like, 2 weeks in a row? What the fuck are we doing here? If you watch Mina Shirakawa in Stardom, she is a threat. She is a competitor. She is fucking great. Going out there, beat anybody. But in AEW, she's a total comedy gimmick. She is another Harley Cameron. Granted, better in the ring than Harley Cameron. But a better Harley Cameron. Just a better Harley Cameron, kinda. What'd you think of them giving us more titty shaking and whatnot here on the show?
This feels like early 2000s Vince booking.
Eh.
Kind of. A little bit of a twist.
Yeah.
Hang on. Someone said hot start then disappear, basically like referring to the Hurt Syndicate.
I mean, it's possible, but I doubt it. I think there's somebody that can keep their momentum going.
I mean, we've seen how like Tony Khan has used former WWE guys, just saying.
Yes, but not people on like a Bobby Lashley level, though.
Malachi Black, I mean, look how they used him.
Former Trios champion.
I mean, Malachi Black, he had a hot start, but then they kind of like fizzled out with him.
Granted, what was it? 2000, end of 22, he was out hurt for a little while. But we'll see. Again, like you said, we got to let it play out, give it a month or two.
Oh, yeah. Remember when Adam Cole first joined AEW? People were like criticizing, like, why is Adam Cole just a guy with the Bucks?
Yeah, but that was all building to him starting the Undisputed Era in AEW, and then that fizzled out. They got rid of Bobby Fish, and then, yeah, that was the whole thing. We knew where that was going. It wasn't well done, but we knew what the end game was, and it just didn't click. They just were like, we're going to do our own Undisputed Era. The Undisputed Elite. It just didn't work. Honestly, you want to talk about somebody that's had a lot of start and stop and where are they going from WWE? Kyle O'Reilly.
I mean,
what have noticed Kyle O'Reilly done? Kyle O'Reilly is basically Tony Khan's. We need someone to go in here and lose in a really, really good match. Oh, Kyle, go do it.
I mean, Tony does love Kyle O'Reilly though, and like right now, Tony doesn't really have a plan for him. So it's like he wants to, but he also wants to keep using Kyle consistently.
Right.
I think that's just the kind of thing with Kyle.
So moving forward, we had Claudio Castagnoli versus Darby Allin. And Darby was just getting ragdolled and thrown around from the start almost. Allin used his speed as the advantage to frustrate Claudio in the early goings of this match, and he took multiple powders until Allin tried a coffin drop off the top, but Castagnoli caught him and flung him into the barricade. Castagnoli charged with an uppercut and sent Allin tumbling into the crowd. Castagnoli actually walked up the steps with Allin in a vertical suplex and slammed him right back down in the ring as we went to commercial break. When they say Claudio is one of the strongest men in wrestling, boy, is he ever. It was all Claudio Castagnoli during the break as he launched Allin from the floor violently, or to the floor violently, before the same into the barricade. Allin was a gorilla pressed back inside, but he swept out the leg using the ring apron, hitting a follow-up series of dives, nearly flying into the front row in the process. Back inside the ring, Allin used a coffin drop, but Claudio crotched him and hit an avalanche gut wrench suplex for a 2 after sort of missing the mark the first time. The power of Castagnoli was crazy enough that Allin held on and they tried to go for it again, successfully popping for a code red for a near fall. Castagnoli then fought back with a series of uppercuts and punches to the ribs as Darby collapsed. Castagnoli at one point cleared off the announce table and threw Darby on it. They're up on the table, climbed up with Allin, gorilla pressed him, just clear off the announce table, over into the timekeeper's area, and Darby just goes splat right on another table. Almost hitting the barricade because they almost threw him short. Crazy spot here, but it's Darby. What do you expect? I hope this man ain't crippled by the time he's my age, 35. I'm just going to say it.
I mean, I'm trying to think of a retired wrestler who basically looks beat up and can't really move their body.
Abdullah the Butcher. Well, I think he had like diabetes and that. Yeah, never mind.
Kurt Angle.
No.
Kurt was beat up bad though. Like,
yeah, but not Darby bad.
Not Darby bad, but like I know he's beat up bad.
But that's also the multiple neck injuries and the amateur wrestling, and they're making a movie about Kurt Angle's life, right?
Like an actual like Hollywood movie?
Oh yeah, it's not any WWE stuff. It's all from kid to Olympics.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Kurt is hands-on with the film. I think he said they're working on a script, and I don't know if he said it's going to have a Rocky vibe or he said something about comparing it to Rocky. I think he might have just said it's the Rocky movie for wrestling, or amateur wrestling.
Will they show a lot of WWE stuff, or is it just like stuff early on?
He said the movie is just him as a kid getting into amateur wrestling and going and winning the Olympic gold medal. It is none of the second half of his life in pro wrestling, which I think is the right call. I think that's the right call. Because it's like, when you're going to do the pro wrestling stuff, what is that story just going to be? An amateur wrestler going to pro wrestling and having a lot of drug and alcohol issues? Losing his first wife, almost losing his second wife. Like, I don't get what the pitch would be for the wrestling side of the story. But great amateur wrestler going in there, breaking his neck, fighting through it, winning the gold medal. Heck yeah. They can even incorporate some of the Foxcatcher story in here as well. Would be all good. All great. Question is, who plays Kurt Angle? Who plays Kurt Angle?
It's probably I don't know. It'd probably have to.
Do they get a well-known actor or like a relatively unknown actor? Kind of like they did with Jeremy Allen White in Iron Claw. Like, he was known for the Bear, but most people either never seen the Bear or only saw him in the Bear and didn't really know much of him. So he was, I wouldn't say a relative, an unknown, but like I know a lot of people that went and saw Iron Claw and was like, who's that guy? I'd never seen him in anything before.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Elite? No. He said if Kurt did WWE stuff, Vince would get involved and it would be a puff piece. What are you talking about? A puff piece? First off, that right there, that comment tells me you don't even know what a puff piece means. So don't use lingo and terms you don't even understand, guy. What? Vin Diesel or The Rock? Oh. All right. Elite, enough with all the troll comments, or you are eventually going to get timed out and banned because it's getting a little old. You and all your troll comments. Like, really? The Rock to play Kurt Angle? A 50-something-year-old man to play a guy in his 20s that he looks nothing like? Like, come on, guy. Come on, guy. The Rock's already doing an MMA movie anyways. He's playing Steve Kerr, the Smashing Machine, and boy, did they really make him look like the Smashing Machine.
Honestly, it would have to be someone with hair because Kurt had hair early on in his life.
Okay, well, Rock's gonna have hair in the Smashing Machine movie. You can put a wig on him, toupee. Have you seen what The Rock looks like in his upcoming MMA movie?
No.
Hold on, I'll show you right here. I'll pull it up on the screen. I'm gonna pull up 2 images. We all know what The Rock looks like, so I don't need to pull up a picture of The Rock. But we'll pull up 2 images here. No, I want the image, not that. Got this. And then where's an image of Steve Kerr? Actually, this one would work. No. Let me see. Steve. Mark Kerr. My bad. Mark Kerr, not Steve Kerr. So this is Mark Kerr, the MMA fighter. Not really a lot of great photos of him, but this one will do. So this is Mark Kerr, the MMA fighter. This guy right here, right? Okay. Mark Kerr. This is The Rock as Mark Kerr in the Smashing Machine. Crazy. Again,
resemblance.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of prosthetics and makeup. Again, Mark Kerr. This is probably, what, 99, 2000, 2001? The Rock. Playing him. Very, very great job. Very great job. Anyways, back at this. Claudio ordered the referee Paul Turner to count out Darby Allin. Darby eventually got back in the ring in 9. Running charge, turned Allin inside out. Claudio got him for the win. Not much to it. Towards the end, at least. Any thoughts on the match? I thought it was okay. We had that one spot where Darby got slammed off the table to another table. Table didn't break. I don't know. I think
thoughts.
Go for it.
Not really any thoughts, no.
Yeah, I thought the table didn't break because Claudio threw him short. So it happens. So Renee Paquette's backstage private party and asked them about their 4-way at Full Gear with the titles on the line. Zane Quid said the odds are stacked against them, but they've always been that way, even when they fought the Young Bucks. Big Boom, AJ, and Big Justice then walked in, and they did their shtick, saying that they have an announcement to make next. I'm going to be started on these guys. But before that, huh?
Go, guys. Of course we go shopping while you eat a chicken bake.
Hey. Double chunk chocolate cookie. Anyways, I'll get into this in a second. We got MJF first. MJF pulled up to a beat down building. A homeless guy asked him for change, and MJF says, sure. He changed down on the street and said, fetch. MJF brings up Roderick Strong's alcoholic parents. Now his mother shot his father in front of him. Now, traumatizing that must have felt. Trauma is an overwhelming sense of powerlessness, while healing is a sense of powered and support. That's why Strong does anything for Adam Cole. Anything to make him feel less. Just like he did to MJF. Cole was a mirage, a fraud, liar. And he feels deep down that in his deep, feeble frame, Cole cares about Strong. He's happy Strong won, because he's going to force Cole to watch as he makes Strong suffer. Strong's white trash upbringing is where MJF will send him back to. Right back to where he belongs, the trailer park. After MJF is done with him, Strong will wish his mother didn't shoot his father, but shot him instead. And my eyes get wide here, and I go, what the fuck did he just say? You were going to make Roderick Strong wish that his mama killed him. Fuck. Any thoughts on...
It's brutal.
Holy shit. Then we get the go for it.
What do you think is worse, that or like Christian Cage saying your father's dead?
Your father's dead? No, this. It's okay to be like, your father died. Let me be the father figure for you. Instead of, hey, your mom should have shot you instead of your dad. Fuck.
Or what the one time MJF said, I'm gonna nail you like Jesus got nailed to the cross.
That's a bad one too. Then we go to Renee and the Costco guys. Big Boom AJ and Big Justice. Now I'm going to say something and then I'm going to kind of shoot myself in the foot at the same time. I don't get it. What the fuck? How are these guys so big on the internet? It's like, yeah, I don't get it. They get millions of views more than me. And it's like, maybe I'm just out of the loop. I don't know. But it's working on some level. So they state that Big Boom AJ is going to have his first match in 20 years. And Renee asked him, it's been 20 years since your last match. How do you feel like your body's going to hold up? Well, what's going to happen here with you and QT Marshall? And he says, well, QT Marshall started all of this when he threw around the double chunk. No, I got to do this better.
Double chunk chocolate cookies.
He said, Renee, QT Marshall started all of this when he threw around the double chunk chocolate cookies. And we have a big announcement when we come to the Prudential Center this Saturday. Tell him, Big Justice. He goes, we're going to have with us my best friend, the Rizzler. When he does the thing, I'm like, what the fuck am I? Am I in a goddamn fever dream or something? What are these guys? Like, all their content's the exact same video, just in a different location. It's just that's what we do. That's what we do. Like, what the fuck?
AEW gets 5 big booms.
Oh,
boom, boom. boom.
It's the worst part, right? Is they do their boom or doom. Rarely do I see a doom. And whenever a video of theirs says paid promotion, you automatically know it's 5 booms. These guys are, they're doing it right. They're just shilling out for any brand that'll give them money.
Today we're going to be trying like this slice of pizza. That gets a big boom.
I saw one the other day where it was like, we're here at the Welch's factory and we're trying out their fruit gummies. And they try them out and they're like, oh, that one's so great. It gets 5 booms. Boom, boom, boom. And then like, now we're going to try the grape flavor. Oh my God, it's so great. 5 booms. Boom, boom. Oh, we're going to try the strawberry. Every single one. 5. And then I look down and go, oh, paid promotion. They paid them for this.
I think it's funny.
Huh.
So, like when WWE brings in like celebrities or influencer, they bring in like the top ones, like a Logan Paul or IShowSpeed.
So apparently, not to cut you off for a second. Apparently, when they're already getting famous and the dad was like, I want to do one more thing in wrestling. The word is he originally wanted to do something with WWE. I don't know if they just couldn't get to WWE. I don't know if WWE turned him down. So, but the original thought was he told his publicist or his manager or whoever, that could help him, he wanted to do something with WWE. But go for it.
I think it's funny. So like when WWE brings in like famous people, they bring in like famous influencers. They bring in like a Logan Paul and Ice Show Speed, like KSI.
Well, so the Ice Show Speed and the KSI were all Logan Paul. Like Logan Paul was the one that they brought in, but Logan Paul was like, hey, I'm going to bring KSI. Hey, I'm going to bring Ice Show Speed. And apparently Logan Paul got such big praise for the Ice Show Speed because they thought Ice Show Speed was perfect at WrestleMania.
But anyway, like they bring in those guys, but then when AEW, they just bring in like those guys like Big AJ and Big Justice.
No, you gotta get right. Big Boom AJ. With
the Voros twins.
And here's the other thing. He is not going to powerbomb QT Marshall through the mat. He will power boom AJ or a QT Marshall through the mat.
And like the Voros twins, they brought them for a dark match.
Oh, are those the Vinky guys or whatever?
Da Vinci?
What the fuck? No one talks about them anymore. I see their videos pop here so often on Twitter, but yeah, no one talks about them anymore.
This dumbbell will not hit us.
They got talked. I remember when they first posted that video, the fucking Jimmy Kimmel was talking about them.
I know they also did an interview with Chris Van Vliet because they're like the most popular wrestlers on TikTok.
At one point, yeah.
At one point, yeah.
Apparently, they made a good chunk of change off a Cameo. But
surprised those guys never had a WWE tryout.
I mean, they might have, but so the wrestling that I've ever seen, like I've seen a couple of their matches, they're just okay. Like there's nothing special about them. Anyways, so yeah, the Rizzler is going to be there with them at the pay-per-view because he said when the bell rings and I power boom QT Marshall through the mat, there's no one else I'd rather have there ringing the bell than a close special friend. Tell him, Big Justice. And he goes, we're going to have my best friend, the Rizzler, with us. And then they do the Riz face thing. I don't even fucking know. This is just the dumbest fucking shit ever. Apparently the Rizzler's dad's been trying to shill his kid out for years, and it's not till the Costco guys got big that all of a sudden the Rizzler got big off of them. But yeah, apparently the Rizzler's dad's been trying to shill his kid out for years, trying to push him online to make money off his kid.
Hang on, have you?
What?
Have you? Oh God! I just thought of something. It was this YouTube video of this like. So there's this like a YouTube account called Meat Can. They make fun of like all these like influencers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They did one about the Costco guys. It's so messed up. I'll send it to you. It's funny but messed up at the same time.
Gotcha.
I know they did one about that Twitch streamer Queso. I think that's how you pronounce him.
Oh yeah. Hey, Queso, great. He's up for freaking Content Creator of the Year at the Game Awards. I think it should go to. My name just blank. I guess picture his freaking face. Typical gamer, but Queso's probably gonna end up winning it.
Bro, this stuff is honestly funny. Like Metallica, bro, get this guy out of here. That's literally, he does that just to get like a ton of views because people think that's the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, but yeah, no, these Costco guys, AJ and Big Justice, and they got Mama Justice and the sister. It's like, come on, what the hell are we doing? And then they bring on like Cousin Anthony and all this stuff. It's like, geez, are they a mob? Fucking, they feel like mobsters in New York that either have a fucking deli or a pizza place. They should be teaming up with the one guy. We'll make a sandwich. Put on the fresh mutts. The guy that Mandy Rose did a video with. Gotta get on our pursuit.
Perfection says, I don't get the Costco guys. Like, what's the appeal? Exactly. Like,
yeah.
I mean, It's literally just the same stuff. Like it's in different location. I know they did the we bring the boom with Brendan Madden and Mansoor.
Oh, that was bad. Like, if you go to their TikTok, I'm just gonna pull it up really fast. I'm not gonna play any videos or anything, but it's like how many videos are all just the same? Like, look, I'm here on their latest video, dance video with the same song. What? Another dance? Oh, did they do a Christmas version now? But again,
they did a Christmas song and
but it's literally just the same thing. Them doing the same dance. It's just and every song they have like 4 different songs and they all sound the exact same.
So so that Christmas song, people have been making fun of the son because people are saying he sounds so bad in that Christmas song while everyone else sounds like they're on auto tune.
Huh.
And people have been making memes about it.
Yeah, no. Like out of like 10 videos, half of them, if not a little more, are all just the same fucking dancing video. So it's like, come on, what are we doing here?
Exactly.
Like, really? 2.6 million views, 3.5 million views, 2.1 million views on these Christmas dancing videos, 6.8 million views on this dancing video. Like, what the shit? And it's funny because it's like, and not funny, but it's just like, all these videos are basically the same. They just add different people but do the same dances. And those are the ones that are getting the most views. Now, granted, they have this other newer Costco shop video. Also, have you seen the ones where they go, we spent $570 last time at Costco. Do you think we're going to spend more or less this time? Like, damn, blowing money at Costco.
They probably get Costco rewards for life or make them like platinum members.
No, I don't even know.
Or maybe like Costco like made a deal with them like for that video. Like spend a lot of money here and we'll give you like something. I don't know.
Perfection says typical TikTok brain rot. Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. It's one of those just I'm gonna blank out for a while, just scroll and it's all the same shit. Like, yeah. All their videos are either the dancing or the Big Justice kid swinging a baseball bat. It's all I ever see.
Have you seen that SNL skit where there was a TikTok skit that they made? It was someone just scrolling through their phone on TikTok and just all these like brain rot like videos. Like they're basically describing TikTok like perfectly. All the videos that they made is just brain rotting and they're just making fun of every like TikTok content creator.
Perfection says, who cares how much they spend? Well, that's the thing. I don't care. Most people probably don't care, but it's like, it's a game. Oh, do we think they're going to spend more or less this time? Oh, they spent more. Oh, they spent less. So it's like,
or those Mr. Beast videos. Today, I'm giving a total stranger my credit card. Can they go over the limit? Trick question. There's no limit.
Yeah, most of those are planned out well in advance and are not like random as they say they are. Now, granted, Mr. Beast is great in what he does and everything, gives back a lot, but it's like,
Or today, I'm going to be playing a game called Anything You Could Carry, I'll pay for it. But if you drop one item, you get nothing.
Well, there's been people doing videos like that since before Mr. Beast.
Well, yeah, they were the ones that created it, and Mr. Beast was like, I'm going to do it, and basically he got the most views out of it.
Yep. But yeah. I want to know what so they're going to come out to their song, right? You would think.
Oh, they have to.
We bring the boom.
100%.
You know, it'd be
song.
You know, it'd be the funniest is if like the song starts off and you just hear double chunk chocolate cookie, and then it goes into the song.
And chicken bakes. I don't even know. And Perfection says, and they say wrestling is fake.
Right. I don't. Do I need to go to fucking, because I don't go to Costco. Oh, no, someone already tried that. Sam's Club, guys. There are people that tried that. Sam's Club.
Apparently there's a Sam's Club that's like 15 minutes away from me that I need to like go and try.
Sam's Club is just the same thing as Costco, but it's owned by Walmart. Literally the same thing.
Let me look up Sam's Club. I only ever stepped foot in a Sam's Club.
So my grandma owned a restaurant in Los Angeles for like 20 years, maybe longer. And
the Sam's, hang on, sorry to cut you off, but like, does Sam's Club have the food court like Costco?
Yes, at least the ones I've been to. But
so they got like the slice of pizza that you can buy. Then
I don't know if the prices are the same or is cheap or whatnot, but I believe so. I haven't been to a Sam's Club in like 3 years. Anyways, well, one thing Sam's Club has that I don't know if Costco has. Sam's Club, they got like an eye doctor department. You can go in there and get an eye exam and glasses and anything. Again, because so does Walmart, and they're owned by the same company, Walmart Corporation. Anyways, no, my grandma.
The only thing I've seen at Walmart is you can get a haircut.
Oh, the Walmart we've got, or at least the one back where I used to live in California, had a Domino's pizza, a haircut in place, an optical department with an eye doctor and everything, and it had one of them, what is it? The tweeze your eyebrow ladies.
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, a bunch of Walmarts in LA have Subways inside. But
or the Target in-store Pizza Hut.
Yeah, we had one where it was
seen those.
We had one where like half of the little food court area was Pizza Hut and the other was Starbucks. Honestly, I haven't even been to the Target where we live now. I haven't been to Target, since we moved.
I haven't been to Target in years.
Yeah. But anyways, these damn Costco guys. We went like 20 minutes on the Costco guys. That's how much we were interested in this Dynamite. Brag on the Costco guys. Anyways. Tony Schiavone welcomes Roderick Strong and the Kingdom to the stage. Strong said that he hasn't slept in a week. He feels like a kid on Christmas that he finally gets his hands on Max. And I'm like, but why? Have we ever saw anything in the past that made it seem like Roderick Strong's got beef with MJF other than the devil stuff that he was a lackey for the Undisputed Kingdom? Is there any reason why Roderick Strong would want to go after MJF? Not that I could think of. So, Cassidy is supposed to be ashamed of his childhood and what happened with his parents. Max made him feel like he was in elementary school again and said that he shouldn't feel sorry for Strong. If he wanted to break the cycle, you have to earn it, which he has done since he was a little kid. While Max has been spoon-fed everything. When things don't go MJF's way, he throws a tantrum until he gets his way. Strong wants MJF to look in the mirror and realize that Full Gear will pay for all of his sins. Every chop, punch, elbow, and backbreaker. Strong will sleep well, knowing that he broke MJF's back, and MJF is now humble. Another match where I'm just like, I don't care. There's no stakes. This means nothing. And I don't think a soul thinks that straight up MJF would lose. Now, like I stated earlier, my prediction is Roddy wins only because Adam Cole helps him. Adam Cole screws MJF. What are your thoughts on all this?
I do feel like Adam Cole will probably get involved somehow.
Oh, Jonathan didn't hear my story of Sam's Club. I'm just saying we went to Sam's Clubs a lot growing up because my grandma owned an Italian restaurant in LA for like 20 plus years. And she would get most of her supplies for the restaurant at Sam's Club or Smart and Final. So that's why I know Sam's Club so well. Because my grandma used to get a lot of stuff
Sam's
for her
Club
restaurant.
Go for it. Sorry. So Sam's Club, they do have that food court.
Yeah.
I think the only different stuff that they have compared to Costco is like they have like, I think they have like those pretzels and they have like a pizza pretzel that you can get. Oh no,
their pretzel's good. Me and my cousin would split one when we go with my grandma. When we'd go with my nonna. Okay. Question. Is Daniel Garcia a heel or a babyface?
I would assume a babyface.
Yet, what the fuck is he doing with Jack Perry? Is this supposed to be the fucking Dark Knight, Batman and the Joker in this segment? This was just, yeah.
This feels like a WWE ripoff when Uncle Howdy kidnapped The Miz.
A little bit. I can see that. So the footage from last Saturday night of Jack Perry attacking Daddy Magic during Daniel Garcia's match with Johnny TV. Garcia and Menard got their revenge, though, by tying Perry to the hood of the scapegoat bus and driving off. Menard then threw it to what happened after Collision. They showed Jack Perry tied to a chair. Garcia then dumped a bucket of water on him to wake him up. Perry said that he knew Garcia was just like him, as Garcia said that all he wanted to do was wrestle. But there were savages who tried to attack Menard, and now they have to pay. Perry brought up everyone having to make sacrifices, as Garcia promises that he'll never go where Perry has went. Where? Perry hasn't done anything that... Perry joined the Elite. Okay, you don't want to go with the top group in the company? Man, you're dumb, Daniel Garcia. You don't want to be talked about by millions because of CM Punk? Gotcha. Okay. Perry spat in his face, started laughing. Again, this really felt like the Joker and fucking Batman from The Dark Knight. He told Menard, who was holding the camera, "Get out of my face." Garcia came back with a crowbar and smashed the scapegoat bus with a few shots. Perry just laughed, asking if that was it. Garcia just stormed off as Menard said Perry had a horseshoe up his ass before going after Garcia. So I guess Perry is just still tied up and they're going to ship him off to the pay-per-view. I don't fucking know. Garcia kind of looked like a dork during all this, in my opinion. I did not like it at all. Another match at the pay-per-view I really don't care about. What do you think?
Like you said, it's just another like dumb match at the pay-per-view.
Yeah. It was just for the final build to this match. It just felt so weird. I don't know who I'm supposed to be in favor of. I guess Daniel Garcia, but it's like, I don't even know. This whole thing was weird. We had Chris Jericho and Tomohiro Ishii contract signing for the ROH World Championship. And this match ain't even at this pay-per-view. It's not till the November 20th Final Battle pay-per-view. I think. I don't even think they technically said when the match is taking place. But they're both on the poster for Final Battle, so I assume that's where it is. Renee's sitting backstage in the locker room with both champion and challenger as Jericho refused to sign the contract without his legal team looking it over first. Jericho took the contract and walked off, standing in front of a giant Collision banner with his face on it. Ishii started walking towards him slowly, kind of stalking him, with Jericho putting objects and people in the way. Ishii then tossed everyone and everything aside. It wasn't a chase, so much of a power walk. As they walked through the stands to the ring, Jericho said that he doesn't have a pen. Ishii pulled out a pen, handed it to Jericho, who then signed, installed until, the Bad Apple and the Redwood showed up, Brian Keith and Big Bill. They attack Ishii, and the crowd is dead. Crickets. Crickets. Nothing. You can hear somebody's phone on volume 1 ring. It was so dead. Jericho was going to stab Ishii with the pen until Mark Briscoe and Rocky Romero came out to make the save. Ishii then sent Big Bill to the floor. Rocky flew out with a dive. Keith was dropped with the J Driller, and Jericho was planted with a sheer drop brainbuster. Ishii signed the contract, and the match is official. I think they may have said for next week, but it's like they're both on the pay-per-view for Final Battle, so I don't know if it's at the pay-per-view. I don't know. I thought I had heard one person on commentary say something about next week, so your guess is as good as mine. Crowd did not care at all for this. At all. Seems like you didn't either, because you're just out of words.
Like, exactly. The crowd was just really dead tonight.
This might have been one of the worst parts of all of it. They got all these guys out here brawling. Bunch of guys that are really liked and just no reaction at all. Not even for Mark Briscoe running out. And Mark Briscoe always gets a good reaction. So Renee Paquette's backstage with Jamie Hayter, and she's like, hey, last week I tried to do this, have a little talk. You're going to tell me what's next, and you got cut off by Julia Hart. And she goes to speak. She's like, I've moved. She said that she's moved to the beat of her own drum, just like Hart does. Maybe they need to have a little, and then it cuts again, and we get a Julia Hart video. She's got a bow and arrow, and she's shooting dingers, and basically she says she's been reborn. She's coming back. She's ready. The princess of the Black Throne, the keeper of the secrets. She is here. Her heart grows harder. An arrow then hits the bullseye. The head's heart then can be heard screaming, and it cuts to black. She gonna start coming down to the ring with the bow and arrow now? That be her new gimmick? Shooting the bow and arrow? You know what would be cool? You know what would be cool if they could set it up right. It's like her gimmick is like she comes out like she did back in the day, Julia Hart. It's all dark and they got the light on her and everything. And then she pulls up the bow and arrow, shoots it, and when she hits the target catches fire or something. That'd be dope.
That takes a lot of skill, not gonna lie.
She's a trained, what's it called? Oh,
archery.
Yeah, but there's a term. Like not an archist. She's trained in archery, anyways. But yeah, she's like a top level. What's the name? What do you call an archery shooter? I'm gonna feel dumb because I should know this. I don't even know what to Google. Archery. I don't even know. Anyways, yeah, she's trained in archery. So she was hitting them dingers. Anyways, go to our main event match tonight is Orange Cassidy versus Wheeler Yuta. Yuta fired off a shotgun dropkick right at the bell, and Cassidy floated over in the corner and got a series of near falls. Yuta wrenched at the ear of Cassidy. Cassidy quickly got a seatbelt pin attempt and got a 2 off of it. They fought to the outside where Yuta managed to brainbuster Cassidy on the floor. I think he kind of hit him on the barricade here a little. Yuta exposed the metal portion. Oh, here it goes. Yeah, Yuta exposed the metal portion of the turnbuckle and drove Cassidy face first into it before hitting a DDT on the apron. Go to commercial break. When we come back from the break, both men are slugging it out. Forearms till Yuta bit Cassidy's. Cassidy battled back with a PK and a stiff brainbuster for a near fall. Cassidy wanted an orange punch, but Yuta countered into a snap German suplex and a high angle slam. An anvil elbow from Yuta, but Cassidy put a stop to it, wrenching the fingers, snapping them repeatedly. Cassidy tried to hit the soul food and a Michinoku driver and did get a 2. Yuta again dodged an orange punch. Cassidy got an O'Connor roll. He got a 2 off of it. Tried a tilt-a-whirl, but Yuta countered into a leg trap tombstone for a close near fall. More anvil elbows again poured down from Yuta as he locked in a cattle mutilation, but Cassidy got his feet on the ropes to break the hold. Yuta at one point couldn't believe that, well, he was rolled up. Flash pin 1, 2, 3. Trapped down. Orange Cassidy gets the victory. So there we go. Orange Cassidy picks up the win.
Pretty expected win, not gonna lie.
Yeah, what'd you think of the match?
Felt like any other like Death Riders match. They stomp on the head, beat up their opponent, but they either win or lose.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Then Yuta couldn't believe that he had lost. Cassidy shoved Bryce Remsburg out of the way, but Pac appeared and dropped him with a pump kick. Claudio, Marina, and Moxley all came out of the crowd, with Shafir handing duct tape to Pac. Claudio then put Cassidy's hands in his pockets. Pac then taped him. And so basically he was duct taped down with his arms all like this. Death Riders all then pie-faced Cassidy till Moxley dropped him with a series of punches and slaps. They couldn't make this guy look more like a dweeb and a geek and a nerd. Well, they did a great job. Because this guy looked like he's no threat. He can't beat Moxley. Even if Moxley didn't have the rest of the group there with him, he couldn't beat this Moxley. No one believes it. Cassidy started to do his little kicks, and Moxley just hit him with a forearm. Just boom. Fuck you shot. Commentary talked about Cassidy living and dying by his word and wanting to go at this alone. They all finally leave Cassidy just laying in the ring, duct taped. Then the conglomeration come out. Mark Briscoe cuts the duct tape off of him. Cassidy tries to get to his feet, puts the hands in the pockets, and he falls over. And he's like, yeah. He's basically doing the whole you haven't beat me now kind of thing. Show Moxley kind of watching from the crowd. And Moxley's just uninterested. He's like, you got back up. Cool. Nothing to it. Nothing. That got me interested. Oh my God, Moxley and Orange Cassidy. I can't wait for this match. Nope. They'll probably have a good match because their old international title matches were pretty damn good. But Excalibur closed out the show by saying, trying to push, it's hard to tell who really has control right now and who is going to win this Saturday. I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up. Even you don't believe that. Oh, Excalibur.
I mean, Orange Cassidy ain't winning. I don't think his own mother even thinks he's going to win.
Yeah, no. But let me get the poll going here on Twitch before we get into our Full Gear predictions really quick. What did you think of Dynamite? I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. All right. So the poll is live if you're watching on Twitch. But we have Full Gear to talk about real quickly. Coming up this weekend from the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey is AEW Full Gear. At the time of this recording, 9 matches have been announced for the show, 1 on the pre-show and 8 on the main card. With that, we're going to run it all down, give you our thoughts, and tell you who we think is coming out victorious. First off, on the pre-show, we do know that it'll be Big Boom AJ against QT Marshall. I think this one's pretty easy to predict. What do you think, Luke?
It's pretty easy. It's going to be Big Boom, Big AJ.
Yeah, I'm going to go AJ as well, picking up that win. They say he hasn't had a wrestling match in 20 years.
Seriously.
Which I don't think is that big of a deal because we see celebrities come in all the time and do matches who have never had matches. So, at least this guy's been trained before. It's a step up. But as we move to the main card of the show, first off, we do know that MJF will be going one-on-one with Roderick Strong. As I said earlier, in any normal situation, MJF beats Roderick Strong. But I don't think this is a normal situation. I think Roddy actually gets the win because Adam Cole screws MJF, comes out and helps Roderick Strong. I'm going Roderick Strong. Could then lead to, probably at World's End, MJF and Adam Cole.
I'm going to go Roddy as well. But I think maybe after the match, like MJF gets so pissed off that he got screwed over, he beats the living dog crap out of Roddy.
Oh, it's possible.
Just like make this like Adam Cole and MJF stuff even more heated.
So moving forward, we actually have a rematch from the last pay-per-view. It's Jay White versus Hangman Adam Page. Who do you got?
This is a little bit of a toughie because this one can go either way. I'm actually going to go Hangman because, I think Jay White won last time, correct?
Yes.
They're probably going to go Hangman with this one. Then maybe at the next pay-per-view, they do like a winner takes all.
So I'm going to have to agree with that. Jay White won the last one. Hangman wins the next one. So I'm going to say Hangman Adam Page. And I think maybe not the next pay-per-view they do their rubber match. I think both men end up in the Continental Classic, maybe even in the same bracket. And that's where they have the third match in the Continental Classic, possibly. Just a thought. We don't know because they won't give us the goddamn brackets.
Very possible.
So moving forward, we do know that Swerve Strickland will be going one-on-one with Bobby Lashley. This is actually the one match probably the match I'm most excited for, storyline-wise. Because most excited for match-wise would probably be Ospreay and Fletcher because I think they're going to kill it. But storyline-wise, Swerve and Lashley. But this one is hard for me to predict.
Not for me, no.
Then go for it.
I'd say Bobby Lashley because this is his first AEW pay-per-view. I highly doubt they're going to have him lose his first singles pay-per-view match. And plus, like, if they want, like, Swerve to win this rivalry, they can just do, like, a rubber match down the line.
So I'm looking at Swerve. So this is where I'm a little conflicted. Swerve in big matches. So, like, he beat Shelton. He beat Leo Rush. But then his last two really big matches, Bryan Danielson at All In and Adam Page at All Out, he lost. On pay-per-view, do you really want Swerve losing again? That's where I'm conflicted. Does Swerve lose again on pay-per-view to give Bobby that win because he's new? Or do they go, no, Swerve can't lose right now. He's lost a bunch to big matches. He's got to get the win. That's where I'm conflicted. So you know what? I want to say Bobby Lashley, but something keeps telling me no, it's going to be Swerve. So I'm actually the opposite of you and say Swerve. I'm probably wrong, but just there's something telling me in my gut Swerve's lost too many times on pay-per-view recently.
I still got to go with Bobby. I just don't think they're going to have Bobby lose his first, like, singles match in AEW.
I think that's why he had the match tonight. They're telling us his first match in AEW. This is his first match for AEW. So that way when he gets his first loss to Swerve, he's not losing his first match. But moving forward, we do know that Will Ospreay will be going one-on-one with Kyle Fletcher. I can really see this match going either way, but if I'm going to pick a winner, I'm going to make a prediction. Probably going to say Will Ospreay. What do you got?
Yeah, I got Will Ospreay here. I think they're going to give Will Ospreay the win here and they just need to get Will Ospreay away from the Don Callis family right now.
It would be a great move to push Kyle Fletcher here and give Kyle the win. But I think you go Ospreay right now. It's early enough for Kyle Fletcher to where they build him up in another way. As we move forward with title matches, we do know that the AEW World Tag Team Championships will be on the line when Private Party defend against the Outrunners, the Kings of the Black Throne, and the Acclaimed. Now, I got an off-the-wall prediction here, but I want to hear yours first.
I think it's too early to take the belts off of Private Party, so I'd say keep the belts on Private Party.
I say screw the too early. I'm probably wrong here, but give it to the Outrunners. Put the titles on the god-dang Outrunners. That's my prediction. Outrunners, new champions. They're so over right now. They're so over right now. Moving forward, go for it.
I feel like the pay-per-view will probably just be a test for the Outrunners. Like, can they still maintain that popularity going into the pay-per-view?
Well, that's the thing. Didn't they wrestle at... Let me see something. Because I was told that at the Wrestle Dream pay-per-view, they sold more merch than anybody. And that their merch sold out fast. Yeah, they were in... It was on the pre-show. They teamed with the conglomeration to take on the Dark Order and the Premier Athletes. And apparently, they sold out all their merch very quickly. Granted, I think Truth Magnum maybe is from the area. Can't remember if it's Truth Magnum. Yeah, Truth Magnum is from the Seattle area. So he's like kind of a local guy. So I don't know if that helped. But yeah. Moving forward with the TBS Championship on the line, we know that Mercedes Moné will be defending against Chris Statlander. I'm going to say Statlander. Again, kind of for the reason I'm saying MJF loses to Roderick Strong. I think something happens and Mercedes gets screwed. Maybe even not on purpose. I think Camille tries to help Mercedes at one point in this match, and it distracts Mercedes enough or just messes Mercedes up enough to where Statlander then steals the victory. So I'm saying Statlander new champion because Camille messes up.
I'm going to go Mercedes retains. And the reason why, because I think Camille could be the one to take the belt off of Mercedes.
But so I don't hate your idea, but that's kind of what they did with Mariah and Tony.
Tony Khan likes to do a lot of the same thing.
Yeah, kind of.
Unless this one, they could be like Camille's like, I'm tired of you bossing me around, like thinking I'm just your little puppet. I'm nobody's puppet.
So moving forward with the TNT Championship on the line, Jack Perry will be defending against Daniel Garcia. I'm going to say Daniel Garcia gets the win because I feel like right now we're on the downturn of the elite. Young Bucks lost their titles. Jack's going to be the next one to lose this title, then eventually Okada. So I'm going to say Daniel Garcia, new champion.
I'm going to say Daniel Garcia because he re-signed with AEW.
Right.
So maybe him re-signing AEW could be like, hey, we'll give you the TNT belt, just don't leave.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is probably a way to get him to re-sign. And plus, he's already going to be a big star in the future.
Yeah.
For AEW, he's their future. Might as well just give him the TNT belt.
Right. And do I even have to ask you about the main event? It is Jon Moxley defending the AEW World Championship that we haven't even seen since the last pay-per-view Wrestle Dream because he's got it locked in a briefcase, handcuffed to Marina Shafir, defending that thing against Orange Cassidy.
I mean, is it not obvious to everyone? It's Jon Moxley retaining.
100%. I don't even think we need to discuss anything or talk about it. It's Jon Moxley all the way. And like we've said leading up to this, no one cares about this match. I haven't seen a single person on social media or that I've talked to about this pay-per-view tell me, oh my God, what a main event. That's going to be great. I'm so interested. No, not a single person. So far, that is everything that has been announced for AEW Full Gear coming to us this Saturday from the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. And if you do hear anything further on the pay-per-view, we'll bring it to you right here. With that, about going to wrap it up. Let's check these polls really fast just to see what you guys thought of the shows. We've got the Threads poll. 67% like the show. 33% didn't like it. Oof. Moving forward with the Twitter poll. Holy shit. 72% didn't like the show. 18% liked it, and 9% thought it was just all right. Oof. Have we ever had that big of a did not like it? 72%? Not that I can remember.
I don't know, actually.
I think we've had 60 once for one of them bad Raws. But, oof. Moving forward with the YouTube community poll, 57% liked the show. 23% didn't, and 21% thought it was just all right. This guy says, I fell asleep. And this person says, Dynamite was okay. No Britt Baker, no Christian Cage. MJF needs to return already. The show tonight was just okay. I feel the same. As far as the live poll does go, 59% liked the show. 17% thought it was just all right. And 24% didn't like it. And then everybody, not that many, one person that voted on Twitch liked it. Oh, no, I read that wrong. One person that voted on Twitch thought it was just all right. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. But Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter X at Petke_21. And you can also find me over at Twitch at Young Grasshopper Luke.
With that, guys, have a great rest of your night. I'll be back live on Friday for SmackDown, then back again Saturday for AEW Full Gear. Have a good one, guys. All right. If you're still watching live on Twitch, we're going to hit a raid really fast.